my God, that was God damn it. Welcome to Revive and Ride. Welcome to Revive and Ride, where I take beat up, wrecked cars and turn them into money-making machines. So today we're going to be working on this Chevy Malibu. It's a 2013, and well, it's seen better days. It hits something pretty high here. And it's got, so it looks like it's going to need, obviously, a hood, a bumper cover. Luckily, it didn't hit any of the lower crash bar there, so the frame and stuff's still good. Upper radiator support's completely smoked, and the radiator and fans look like they're, well, part of the engine right now. So hopefully it runs good and drives good. Hey, look, there's a part of the grill. It starts right up, runs good. I don't know why the engine power is reduced. Probably there's no coolant in it. 135,000 miles. Well, let's get started.
First thing I need to do is remove all the damaged parts, starting with removing the hood. Each hinge has 2 bolts holding the hood on. Then I need to remove the fender. It has a few bolts you need to get to from the door jamb, some along the top, and the wheel well cover. Got to remove the bumper, which most of the bolts and clips were removed from the wreck. Now we can see more of the damage that was caused from the accident.
This is a porta-power. It's basically a hydraulic ram that can expand or contract depending on which one you got. And I'm going to use it to push this back out. Already starting to look better, look at that. Get this one out of there and decide where these need to go so I can get this one in here. Well, there's that. I think this sensor's probably bad. Good thing I got a couple different ones. That is, well, definitely bent. And that was primary damage on the vehicle, was that. So now I can kind of have this here to tell me what needs to happen with these. This one needs to be twisted back this way. This one just, well, it needs a lot. Let's open her up. That one's moving, that one ain't even budging. That's funny. Oh yeah, look at that thing going right back into shape. There. Condenser's freed up. Over here. I've got this one. This one looks pretty good. I think it's back about where it needs to be. It needs to be just a little bit more, I think. That was the easy one. This is probably going to be the more difficult one. I was able to find a hood from the junkyard here, as you can see there with the markings, and it's pretty much the same color, but it's not. So, unfortunately, still gonna have to do some paint work. Gonna have to blend this hood to the fender and do some body work on this fender. As far as the interior goes, I did clean that up a little bit, so it's a little nicer in here. Wasn't too horrible to begin with. Seat's a little tore up there. Now this car, it's It's pretty clean on the inside, except for see some stains a little bit on the seat and have to clean the headliner, but that's for a later time. I was able to get this pretty much all straightened back up here with the radiator support, so we should be pretty good there. I am waiting for the headlights so I can see how things line up. We did get the radiator in, so I'm going to get that in here and see if it looks like things are lining up. That's strange. It fits. Okay, this side, this is still a little low. I'll have to bring it up a little bit more yet. Also got this fender too, and I don't know if you can tell, but it doesn't quite match. All right, so I'm currently trying to get the transmission line connected into there on the radiator and transmission cooler. The problem is it won't fit. So I'm gonna take the actual fitting out and see why the line will not fit in there. This is an aftermarket radiator, and all I'm trying to do is get the radiator and stuff hooked up because I want to pull this out so I can paint the bumper that I got. Let me get that out and see what is going on here. All right, there's the fitting. Let's see if you guys can see in there. Maybe not too well, but there's kind of a ridge inside there where that clip goes, but it's preventing me from putting the line all the way in. So I'm gonna have to clean that out a little bit. So now that line should fit. Oh yeah, now the line fits just like it should. There, now I was able to get the line back in. Getting ready to paint the bumper. Now the paint, luckily enough, I already had from another project, and it's about 3/4 of a quart. Plenty enough to paint that bumper. What I'm planning on doing is painting the bumper, trying to get things together and see how well things match. There's a good chance I'm going to blend the hood and the fenders because the fender and the hood are off a different car, and well, no two paint jobs are exactly the same. So I'm just going to get the bumper done because there's not much I'm going to be able to do there. If I have to blend the hood and blend the fenders, it'll match the bumper anyway. So I'm just going to do the bumper real quick. So I got the bumper set up over here so I can paint it. Came out real nice. So let this dry for a while and then assemble the grill and the emblem and the other grill, and still waiting on the fog lights, but once them get here we can get that back in and get this put on the car. There's several things on the car that I notice I'm going to have to address here even before or after I get it finished being put back together. As a matter of fact, when I ran my scanner, it's showing an oil pressure sensor, the wheel code, the airbags, which we know why because we got to replace some seat belts, and the airbag sensors in the front, which we have to replace yet. There's some few other codes too that it's throwing that I'm going to have to go through and figure out. And this is one of the gambles you take when you buy one of these cars, is you have no idea what the other person did before they wrecked it. And well, there was a few mechanical things that they were neglecting apparently. Now we're going to have to address it. I don't think that it has anything to do with the accident because none of that stuff, like this wheel that wasn't touched, wouldn't have been involved in the accident, so it shouldn't be affected. But that's just one of the things that you have to do when you work on one of these wrecked cars. I'm going to go ahead and work on this wheel, take it off here. First thing I should probably do though is check the wheel bearing, and I don't got no movement there. So I don't know if it's wheel bearing, but I'm going to check the sensor, check the wiring, and see if there's something wrong with that real quick. So here's the sensor, and it just sits down here in a hole. And it's basically, there's a magnetic ring around the wheel bearing, and that's kind of what I'm going to have to check too. Back behind here, there's a metal ring on that passes by this, and this is your wheel speed sensor. So this is the back side of that wheel hub, and if you can see try and point it out. Right here, how it looks like there's something that stops here and here. Right there. And right up here. It looks like it kind of stops. Like that. So that's just where the magnets broke on the back. That's causing that wheel speed sensor not to work. So unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to replace this wheel bearing, and that's another $78. Now I need to figure out what's up with the oil pressure sensor. It says the sensor itself's open, so I'll have to get in there and look at that. I need to do an oil change on this car anyways. Sometimes that's silly things that can actually cause those sensors to malfunction. So right underneath this metal cover is the oil pressure sensor. To get to it though, I'm going to have to remove a 10 and a 13, it looks like. Oh my god, that was god damn it. Mother. So the sensor is right there. That wire going into it right there. So I'll be able to unhook it here and check it. I wanted to look at it and see if it looked like it had anything wrong with the wiring from the accident, but it doesn't appear to. So, all right, well, let me get that out. So these are the wrong parts. Doesn't look like it had oil going through it at all, which the sensor is bad. Screwdriver here. Just pop that. Alright, let's see here. Where's it go? Right here. Let's see if that fixes an issue there. I'll go ahead and start the car and see if the problem's gone. That looks like it took care of the oil sending unit code that was popping up. Still got that EVAP code that I'm going to deal with. Unfortunately, they sent me the wrong part for that. So next thing, I guess, is get the wheel bearing in. We'll put some headlights in, see how far off things look. Still got to get that air box, get everything bolted back up, and then probably going to have to do a blend on this car yet because I'm pretty sure that hood just isn't going to match once I get everything bolted up. It's going to be so far off and so noticeable. Have you ever seen them send you a pair of gloves? Look at that. They sent me a free pair of gloves with my wheel bearing. I'll use those. It's funny, I took the oil plug out of this and someone had Loctited it on. Like, oh, whoever had this car worked on was not a liked person. These are ceramic pads. Look at that. Fancy, fancy. Oh, that was a mess anyways. Alright, you think we're going to need a torch on this? Now the fun part. Well, unfortunately, the battery died on my camera, so you guys missed getting that apart. It was really fun. But this is the old wheel bearing, and you can see how there's a little bit of shiny spot there and some more shiny spot right in through here. That's actually where the magnet on the back of this wheel bearing is missing. And that's why the service traction control or ABS or any of that kind of stuff will pop on, is because part of that magnet's missing. The other one has a magnet all the way around it. Working on getting the headlights kind of sitting in there so I can see how far off I am on one side to the other. If it's too high or too low, it'll help me kind of adjust whatever I need to on either side. The other problem I'm going to have yet that I'm waiting on is some hood hinges. I got to get those hood hinges yet before I can really move on. Boy, if that's the way that hood sits, okay, good. So that is way off. Actually, it looks like it'll be pretty close. So that's good. So I got to get this little support bracket that holds the bumper back on. Got to get the bumper on. I already got the headlights on. I already got the hood and the new hood hinges on, so that helped line everything up. The hood hinges were definitely what I needed because nothing was lining up. So now I just got to finish bolting the fenders back up. I also got this airbox cleaner lid finally on here. Still needs to be kind of put back into place a little bit. There, that's done. So that's all finished up. Got a few sensors replaced. Got all the engine codes, I think, taken care of. So I just got to get this front bumper and everything put back on here and everything lined up. But I ain't doing nothing until you hit that subscribe button. I'll just sit here. Also, since you made it this far, you might as well go ahead and hit that like button. Why not share it to at least one friend? Just one. You got one, don't you? I don't even have a friend. Let's get this finished. There we go, all finished up. Just got a few minor little things to do, like vacuum it and kind of dust it down and give it another bath, or an actual bath. After all said and done, I think I might be able to get maybe $6,500 for this car. It's not a very high mileage car. The title's clean besides having an accident, but it's not salvaged. It's not previously salvaged, so that's good. Now I gotta do the dreadful thing of listing it and dealing with people to try to sell it. I can already see the inbox now. Is this still available? Hey, are you willing to take payments? Hey, I don't want to have to deal with selling these vehicles. I'd rather just give them away. And that's where you come in. See, the more I get going on this channel, the better opportunities I'm going to have to just give these cars away. I don't mind fixing them, and it's fun to get them and clean them all up, fix them all up, and I like to revive these cars. I like to see these cars back on the road. I don't feel that a small little accident that just needs a bumper and a hood should justify a car being scrapped. It just, to me, I like the idea of putting them back together. I would really like to just get these cars, fix them for something for you guys to watch, and then just give them away to an unfortunate person, or maybe you. I don't need them once they're done, but the more you share these videos and like them and comment and stuff, the more popular they'll get. I'll try to do the best entertaining kind of channel stuff I can for you. Then we'll be able to just give these away. That's the ultimate goal. That's what I'm trying to do here.